Hello friends. Today we are reviewing the year 2015 in the history of commemorative €2 coins. This year is not the greatest, especially after European countries were allowed to mint 2 commemorative coins per year. All because in 2015 a series of common commemorative coins dedicated to the 30th anniversary of the flag of the European Union was also released. We will consider this series in a separate video. And in this video, classic €2 commemorative coins of 2015. In 2015, Latvia held the presidency of the European Union and issued a coin in honor of this. In the center of the coin is the logo of the Latvian presidency of the European Union. In a semicircle, the inscriptions of the presidency of Latvia in the Council of the European Union, and the address of the website of the presidency. This is not the first website address on commemorative €2 coins. The first was the 2010 Belgian coin, also dedicated to the EU presidency, but unlike the Belgian coin, the site on the Latvian coin is still open. The mintage of the coin is 2 million. On eBay, such coins were recently sold at a price of $3.70. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $3.20. The second coin of Latvia is dedicated to the endangered species black storks. The coin depicts a black stork building a nest. Under the bird is the inscription Latvia, 2015. Many think that this coin and the 2016 Latvian coin with a cow form a series of Latvian coins dedicated to the fauna of Latvia. In fact, the official descriptions of the coins deny this, as this coin is dedicated to the endangered species of black storks, and the cow coin is dedicated to agriculture. The mintage of the coin is 1,010,000. Recent sales on eBay have ranged from $3.20 to $4.80. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $3.50. The coin is dedicated to the 150th anniversary of the birth of the famous Finnish composer Jean Sibelius. In Finland, he is considered the best Finnish composer. The golden age of his creativity coincided with the Finnish patriotic upsurge. The coin depicts trees and stars, a reference to his estate of Ainola, where Sibelius lived. It was such a starry sky that the composer could see and be inspired by it. The semicircle also contains the text Jean Sibelius, 2015. FI, Finland, and the Finnish mint mark. The mintage of the coin is 1 million pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold for prices ranging from $3.60 to $6.90. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $3.40. The second coin of Finland is dedicated to the Finnish artist Akseli Gallen-Kalila. He drew inspiration from Finnish nature and the Finnish epic. So the floating swan Tuonela, from the famous Karelo-Finnish epic Kalevala, was depicted on the coin. According to this epic, the mythical hero Lemminkainen died while hunting this swan and his spirit went to the underworld. The lines under the swan symbolize the spirit of the hero Lemminkainen, who is going to the afterlife. Below is an artist's palette showing Akseli Gallen-Kalila's year of birth 1865 and mintage 2015. Inscription Akseli Gallen-Kalila. FI, Finland, and the mark of the Finnish mint. The mintage of the coin is 500,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $4.20 to $7.90. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $3.40. The French coin is dedicated to the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II and peace in the EU. This event was depicted in the form of a dove of peace, which instead of an olive branch carries a branch with 12 EU stars. Above the dove are the letter codes of 28 countries of the European Union, and under the dove is the large letter code of France RF as the issuing country of this coin. On the right is the mint year 2015, on the left is the mint mark and the mint director's mark. The mintage of the coin is 4 million pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold at prices ranging from $2.90 to $3.80. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $2.90. The second French coin is dedicated to the 225th anniversary of the Federation Festival. It took place in 1790, a year after the French Revolution and the storming of the Bastille. To reconcile and unify the two polarized French people, it was decided to hold a grand Federation Festival. Today, July 14th, is the national holiday of France, Bastille Day. The coin depicts the symbol of France, Marianne in a Phrygian cap, depicted in a modern graphic style. On the left is a line from a poem by the French poet Paul Éluard.
Sur toutes les pages lues, sur toutes les pages blanches, pierre sans papier ou cendre, j'écris ton nom.
What is translated, on all read pages, on all blank sheets, stone, blood, on paper and ashes, I write your name. The right of the cockade with the French tricolor, below it the letters RF, Republic of France. Inscription Freedom. Mint year 2015. Mint mark and mint director mark. The mintage of the coin is 4 million pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $2.90 to $5.70. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $2.90. There is also a colored version of this coin, where the cockade is painted in the colors of the French flag. This coin was issued in a gift set, its mintage is 20,000, the current price is from €22. In AD 14, the Roman settlement of Emona was built on the territory of modern Ljubljana. It was an eastern trading post of the Roman Empire, fortified by walls. A coin of Slovenia is dedicated to Emona. In the center of the coin is the inscription Emona, and in the background is the plan scheme of Emona. At the bottom, in a semicircle, there is an inscription, Emona, Ljubljana, Slovenia, 2015. The mintage of the coin is 1 million pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold for $6.50. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $3.60. In Germany, 10 coins dedicated to the Federal States of Germany, Bundesländer series were released. This coin is dedicated to the land of Hesse and depicts St. Paul's Church in the city of Frankfurt am Main. This church was the seat of Germany's first freely elected legislature in 1849, and is considered the cradle of German democracy. Under the church is the name of the land of Hesse. 2015 is the year of minting. The letter D is Deutschland. Mint sign, let's not forget that Germany has 5 mints. Engraver's initials, the mintage of the coin is 30 million pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $4 to $9.40. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $4. After the fall of the Berlin Wall, on October 3, 1990, the Treaty on the Unification of Germany was signed. The communist GDR dissolved, its territory became federal lands that became part of the Federal Republic of Germany. In honor of the 25th anniversary of these events, a coin was issued in Germany. In the foreground are people against the background of the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. In a semicircle, the inscriptions, 25th anniversary of the reunification of Germany, and We are one people. The letter D is Deutschland. Mint mark, remember that Germany has 5 mints. Engraver's initials. The mintage of the coin is 30 million pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold at prices ranging from $3.80 to $4.20. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $4.50. In Spain, the 6th coin dedicated to UNESCO monuments in Spain was issued. This time it is not an architectural monument, but a cultural one. The coin is dedicated to the cave paintings of Altamira in Cantabria. These petroglyphs belong to the Paleolithic era, which is between 35,000 to 11,000 BC. A bison is depicted on the coin. Above is the inscription Spain. At the bottom, mint year 2015. Mark of the Spanish Mint in Madrid. The mintage of the coin is 8 million pieces. Recent sales on eBay were priced at $3.7. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $4. In 2015, the World Exhibition was held in Milan, the theme of which was Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life. In honor of this exhibition, a commemorative coin was issued in Italy. In the center of the coin is a semicircle of land on which a vine, an olive branch, and an ear of wheat are growing. It feeds on water, which is presented in the form of a drop. Under the composition is the logo of Expo 2015 in Milan. Above is the inscription, Feeding the Planet. R.A., the Republic of Italy. Designer's initials and Roman mint mark. The mintage of the coin is 3,500,000 pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold for prices ranging from $3.40 to $6.1. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $3.40. In 2015, Italy celebrated the 750th anniversary of the birth of the outstanding Renaissance writer Dante Alighieri. The most famous work of Dante, and one of the pillars of Western literature, is the Divine Comedy. Also, Dante Alighieri is one of the fathers of the Italian literary language, and it is Dante Alighieri that is minted on Italy's €2 circulation coin. The commemorative coin depicts Dante Alighieri with an open book in his hands. Behind him is Purgatory, one of the illustrations for his Divine Comedy, which is in the dome of Santa Maria del Fiore in Florence. Above is the inscription of Dante Alighieri. R.A., Republic of Italy, mark of the Roman mint. Initials of the designer. 1265, the year of birth of Dante Alighieri. 2015 is the year of coin minting. The mintage of the coin is 3,500,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $2.90 to $6.30. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $3.40. The coin is dedicated to the 15th anniversary of Duke Henri Nassau's accession to the throne. Henri Nassau's wife, Duchess Maria Theresa, is also depicted on the coin around Henri Nassau. Under their portraits is the inscription, 15th anniversary of accession to the throne. Above, around the inscription Luxembourg, the year 2000, of Henri Nassau's accession to the throne. 2015 is the year of minting. At the very bottom is the mint director's mark, and the mark of the mint in Utrecht, the Netherlands. The mintage of the coin is 1,400,000 pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold at prices ranging from $2.90 to $5.50. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $2.90. The second Luxembourg coin is dedicated to the 125th anniversary of the House of Nassau-Weilburg. All Luxembourg rulers from this house are depicted on the coin. On the left, the largest portrait is occupied by the current ruler, Henri Nassau. On the right, under the inscription Luxembourg, his predecessor and father Duke Jean, Duchess Charlotte, Duchess Marie Adelaide, Duke Guillaume IV, and Duke Adolphe. The inscription in a semicircle, 1890 Nassau-Weilburg dynasty. 2015 is the year of minting. Mint director's mark, and mint mark in Utrecht, Netherlands. The mintage of the coin is 1,400,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay have ranged from $2.90 to $4.50. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $2.90. The Malta coin is dedicated to the 100th anniversary of the first flight in Malta. Malta was then part of the British Empire, so it was Captain Kilmer's seaplane that arrived in Malta on the seaplane tender HMS Ark Royal and took off from Grand Harbor for a 55-minute flight. The coin depicts a seaplane, with Sanglier Point, the recognizable location of Grand Harbor, in the background. The first flight from Malta is written on top. Years 1915 to 2015. 100th anniversary. Initials of the designer. The mintage of the coin is 300,000 pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold for prices ranging from $5.70 to $12.1. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $7.30. There is also a variant of this coin with the staff of Asclepius, a mint mark in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Such coins were issued in souvenir packages. The price of such a coin now starts at $26. In Malta, the fifth coin from the series of Constitutional History of Malta was issued. This is the last coin of the series. The coin is dedicated to the proclamation of the Republic of Malta in 1974, after constitutional changes agreed in Parliament. The coin depicts a plaque that was attached to the facade of the Presidential Palace in Valletta, the capital of Malta, on which it is written that on December 13, 1974, the Republic of Malta was proclaimed by a parliamentary majority. On top is the inscription Republic of Malta 1974. On the bottom is the mintage year 2015. The mintage of the coin is 400,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $4.80 to $6.20. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $4.80. There is also a variant of this coin with the staff of Asclepius, a mint mark in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Such coins were issued with an annual set of Malta coins. The price of such a set now starts at $35. As in Italy, in 2015 San Marino issued a coin dedicated to the 750th anniversary of the birth of the outstanding Renaissance writer Dante Alighieri. The famous portrait of Dante from Botticelli's fresco is depicted on the coin. Vertical inscription of Dante. San Marino. These inscriptions are made in a font as similar as possible to the font from the first copies of the Divine Comedy. Mark of the Roman Mint. Years 1265 to 2015. Artist's initials. The mintage of the coin is 104,000 pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold for $24 to $30. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $26. The second San Marino coin in 2015 is dedicated to the 25th anniversary of the unification of Germany. In the center of the composition, the Brandenburg Gate is divided in half, but the columns of the Brandenburg Gate seem to fit into each other, like crossed fingers on the palms. It should symbolize the unity of the German people. Above is the inscription of the 25th anniversary of the unification of Germany in a semicircle. Years 1990 to 2015. Below is the inscription San Marino, and the year of minting in Roman numerals. Artist's initials. Mark of the Roman Mint. The mintage of the coin is 100,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay have ranged from $24 to $29. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $28. Portugal issued a coin dedicated to the 150th anniversary of the Portuguese Red Cross. It is one of the world's first humanitarian organizations. The symbol of the organization, cross, is repeated several times, which should symbolize the expansion of the organization both in Portugal and beyond. The hand symbolizes the help provided by the Red Cross. The inscription in a semicircle is the Portuguese Red Cross. Years 1865 to 2015. Coat of Arms of Portugal and the inscription Portugal. Mint mark and artist's initials. The mintage of the coin is 520,000 pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold at prices ranging from $3.40 to $5.40. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $2.90. In the 16th century, Portuguese sailors discovered the island of Timor, where they later founded a colony. The main product of Timor was sandalwood. Timor remained a colony of Portugal until 1974, until the Rose Revolution and decolonization processes took place in Portugal. In 2015, Portugal issued a coin in honor of the 500th anniversary of the first contacts with Timor. The coin depicts a Portuguese ship and a thatched house of the local inhabitants of Timor. The roof is decorated with sculptural decorations of riders on horses, symbolizing the importance of these animals to the island. Inscriptions: Timor, Portugal. Years 1515 to 2015. Artist's signature, mint mark. The mintage of the coin is 520,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $3.60 to $6.90. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $3.90. 2015 was declared the Year of Development in the European Union. 17 goals to be achieved by 2030 were formed. And in support of the Year of Development, many events were held, the main ones of which were held in Brussels, the capital of Belgium. Belgium also issued a coin in honor of the European Year of Development. In the foreground of the coin is a hand holding a globe from which a sprout sprouts. Above, in a semicircle, the inscription, 2015 is the European Year of Development. B. Belgium. Mint Director's Mark and Belgian Mint Mark. The mintage of the coin is 250,000 pieces. On eBay, such a coin was recently sold for $9.20. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $9.20. Greece issued a coin dedicated to the winner of the first Olympic Games of 1896, Spiros Louis. The first Olympics were held in Greece, and the marathon was one of the last athletics disciplines, and before the marathon the Greeks did not win any medals in athletics. The marathon itself took place from the city of Marathon to Athens and was 40 kilometers long. Spiros Louis immediately became a national hero in Greece after winning the marathon. And in 2015, a commemorative coin was issued in memory of Spiros Louis on the 75th anniversary of his death. It depicts Spiros Louis against the background of the Panathinaik Stadium. Next to Spiros is a cup. After the victory he was awarded not only a medal, but also this cup. In a semicircle, the inscription, 75 years of memory of Spiros Louis. Republic of Greece. Mintage year. Mint mark. Artist's monogram at the bottom of the coin. The mintage of the coin is 750,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay have ranged from $4.50 to $7. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $4. Hello, on this channel we review €2 commemorative coins and other expensive coins. The history of the coins, and the value of the coins, what they were recently sold for, and how much they are worth now. For €2 commemorative coins, in the profile header there is a link to an online table where you will find a list of all €2 commemorative coins. The table is interactive and contains links to both a video review of each coin and text reviews. This table is free and designed to make it easy to find information on each €2 commemorative coin. But, if you want to help the author, you can subscribe to my Patreon. Where starting from the $5 subscription level, you will get access to a more advanced version of the spreadsheet. Where information is immediately presented, about the circulation, recent sales on eBay and the cheapest lots now. The pricing data in this table will be updated every few months. Also, from each Patreon subscription of $10 or more, 20% of the amount will go to the volunteer funds of Ukraine. I am from Ukraine, and coins are my hobby, which helps to forget a little about the terrible war that Russia unleashed. And now any help to Ukraine will always be good. The Slovak people were part of various empires for a very long time, but in 1820, after the reforms of Emperor Joseph II, the Slovak national revival began. Ľudovít Štúr was one of the leaders of the Slovak national revival. He laid the foundations of the standards of the Slovak language, which led to the modern literary Slovak language. In 2015, in honor of the 200th anniversary of Ľudovít Štúr's birth, a commemorative coin was issued in Slovakia. In the center of the coin is a large portrait of Ľudovít Štúr. On the sides of the inscription, Ľudovít Štúr in the years of his life 1815 to 1856. The inscription Slovakia, and the minting year 2015. The sign of the Slovak Mint, and the designer's initials. The mintage of the coin is 1 million pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold for prices ranging from $3.50 to $6.50. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $3.40. The Vatican released a coin dedicated to the 8th World Meeting of Families in Philadelphia, USA. This holiday is organized by the Vatican once every 3 years, and this is the second coin dedicated to the Meeting of Families of the 2012 coin, where the Meeting of Families took place in Milan. The coin depicts a family around a globe facing the Western Hemisphere. In the circle is the inscription 8, World Meeting of Families, Vatican City. Name of the artist. The engraver's initials and the first 3 letters of his profession in Italian, incisor. Mark of the Roman Mint. The mintage of the coin is 122,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay have ranged from $32 to $36. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $30. On June 10, 1215, the Genoese Ghibellines began the construction of a fortress on the Rock of Monaco. This date is considered the beginning of the history of Monaco. In 2015, a coin was issued in honor of the 800th anniversary of the beginning of the construction of the fortress in Monaco. Only a rock and a fortress are depicted on the coin. In a semicircle, the inscriptions of Monaco and the foundation of the fortress. Years 1215 to 2015. Mark of the French Mint, and mark of the Director of the Mint. The mintage of the coin is only 10,000 pieces, which is the smallest mintage among all commemorative €2 coins. Which makes this coin one of the most expensive. On eBay, such a coin was recently sold for $3,081. Currently, the cheapest lot with this coin costs $3,081. Andorra is a dwarf country between Spain and France, which is not a full member of the EU. Andorra and the EU are united only by the euro currency and the customs agreement, which was signed in 1990. A coin was issued in honor of this customs agreement. It depicts the geographical outlines of Andorra's borders and the coat of arms of Andorra. Below are 2 arrows symbolizing the customs agreement and the years 1990 to 2015. In a semicircle, the inscription is the 25th anniversary of the signing of the customs agreement with the European Union. The mintage of the coin is 85,000 pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $14.50 to $27. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $21.30. Until 1993, Andorra remained the suzerain of France and Spain. Andorra annually paid France 960 francs, and Spain 460 pesetas, 12 heads of cheese, 12 colognes, 12 partridges, and 6 hams. Once again, until 1993, medieval feudalism was preserved in Andorra. Although, the nominal suzerains of Andorra are still France and Spain. Thus, the right to vote from the age of 18 was introduced in Andorra only in 1985. And it was in honor of the 30th anniversary of this event that a commemorative coin was issued in 2015. The coin depicts a young man throwing a ballot with the inscription Andorra into a ballot box. The inscription in a semicircle is the 30th anniversary of coming of age at the age of 18. Years 1985 to 2015. The mintage of the coin is 85,000 pieces. On eBay, such coins were recently sold at prices ranging from $14.50 to $28. Currently, the cheapest lot with such a coin costs $22.30. In 1915, during the First World War, Lithuania was occupied by Germany, and was finally able to get rid of the power of the Russian Empire, and gradually revive its independence. In 1915, with the arrival of Germany, the Lithuanian press was restored. And in honor of the 100th anniversary of the restoration of the Lithuanian press, a commemorative coin dedicated to the Lithuanian language was issued in Lithuania. This is the first €2 commemorative coin of Lithuania. The word AI is depicted on the coin, which means thank you. In the background are the letters of the Lithuanian alphabet. At the bottom is the inscription Lithuania, 2015. Mark of the Lithuanian Mint. The mintage of the coin is 1 million pieces. Recent sales on eBay ranged from $4.40 to $9.70. Currently, the cheapest coin costs $4. The total value of the 2015 €2 commemorative coin collection at the lowest selling prices on eBay is $3,295. Friends, if you've watched this far, don't be lazy, give it a like. That's all. Stay tuned for future releases and don't lose your precious coin.